Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. R-Type DX. Well, it's gotta be good if they put DX in the title. One of the most long-lasting and fun genres in gaming has to be the shoot-'em-up, starting with games like Asteroids, Space Invaders, and Galaga. While they've evolved quite a bit over the years, the core gameplay loop remains endlessly entertaining. I mean, just this week I reviewed a shoot-'em-up for Dollar Store Gaming, and one of the absolute best shoot-'em-ups ever was the arcade masterpiece R-Type. With high difficulty and a unique mechanic letting you attach and detach weapons, R-Type is considered by some to be the single greatest shoot-'em-up of all time, and for good reason. So naturally, it would hit the Game Boy. But this isn't the first time Nintendo and R-Type crossed paths. R-Type DX, released for the Game Boy Color but backwards compatible, was actually a compilation game, containing both R-Type and R-Type 2, both of which had previously seen standalone releases for the Game Boy. And in fact, going back even further, the original R-Type arcade cabinet was the final game that Nintendo ever published for arcades. So with Nintendo having its hands all over the series, I think we have a good chance of this game ending up pretty good. And even if you hadn't heard of R-Type, this cover is more than enough to sell you. Don't you want to be a spaceship fighting giant multi-mouthed aliens and floating eyeballs? And the best part being, this is actually entirely accurate to the game. It's the best shoot-'em-up ever, but how did the Game Boy handle it? Prepare for countdown as we blast into R-Type DX. Ding! Nintendo presents. Oh god, this text is borderline unreadable. R-Type DX. Ooh, R-Type and R-Type 2. Might as well just start with R-Type. R-Type, blast off and strike the evil Bedeau Empire. Press start to play? Okay, let's do this. Oh yeah, it's R-Type, alright. You can fire, you can charge up and fire. Perfect. It has the R-Type experience. Oh my gosh. Those explosions and these animations are really nice. Pew, 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 pew. God, this game is satisfying. Oh, there we go. Grab that. Okay, so that's how the main thing about R-Type. You can connect this thing up front, and then I believe, yep, there we go, it just shoots sometimes and increases your firepower. But you can also, like, connect it to the back, and it'll shoot backwards. Uh-oh. This seems problematic. And then what you can do is have it just sort of hover like this, way out in front of you, and then press A to call it back. It's a super unique mechanic. That's what makes R-Type so cool. There's a touch of slowdown, as you would kind of expect, but it's not that bad. What is this thing above me? Oh, that's, I think... I was gonna say shielding me, but I appear to be wrong. Good music, too. I mean, it is the definitive R-Type experience so far. Ooh. Including the difficulty. R-Type is a very tough game. You just have to be very careful. Actually, I forgot. Hang on. Launch this forward. Let's grab another one. Or no, it upgrades it, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this game is satisfying. I believe there's a boss. Oh, God. Yep. I think we could go ahead and say this is a boss, alright? What part of this do I shoot to make it stop existing? So the only problem is, due to there being so much happening, there is a lot of flickering and weird effects. It isn't taking away from the gameplay much, but it's certainly an issue. Kaboom. Bonus 5,000. We did it. Me and a strange orb. What are you? What are you? Why are you? I think the enemy designs in this game were actually kind of creepy. I mean, look at that. Oh, baby. Oh my god, we're shooting, those. I think we have a pretty good handle on R-Type 1. Because I just died. Let's try R-Type 2. Earth Defense. Director... The Bedeau Empire is attacking. Secure pilot and lower canopy. This is a cutscene, and it's amazing. Go! Oh, the music's even better. Well, it's the same gameplay, just upgraded slightly. And with better music, too. It's nice to see an arcade game that gets ported to Game Boy without losing very much. And it's actually been downgraded pretty well. When I say downgrade, I don't mean like it's worse. I mean a downgrade in the sense of they've sized the game down. Hang on. I just want to check something. What happens when the ball goes on the back of your ship? As far as I can tell, it does the same thing, just in a different position, and that means you can shoot it backwards. I'm not really an R-Type expert, but after playing this, I kind of want to be. Alright, let's get our first orb, put it on the back of our ship, and see what we can do. Orb, ka-chunk. Oh my god. Oh my god! There we go. Yep, it just launches backwards. What are these cul-de-sacs of evolution that are jumping out of the ground? Yeah, R-Type is a very difficult game. I mean, as are most shoot-em-ups, but R-Type especially. It found that perfect sweet spot of difficult, but not so difficult that you want to give up. It's the kind of difficulty that makes you want to keep going, you know? Oh, God, see? They just sort of come out of nowhere. Like, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be bad. It's a really solid series. It's gameplay that can easily be scaled down, and it's practically first party. Not directly, but Nintendo had a big hand in publishing the game throughout the years. But this is great. Great is also not what I am at it. Fire. I should use this more. In fact, when those tons of things rush me, I think I'll use a charge shot. Ah! Oh, God. Mistakes. You know what? I want to check one more thing. After all, it is a Game Boy Color game. Let's see what it was like on the Game Boy Color. Now that's a title screen. Original Game Boy version, Ultimate Challenge, enhanced for Game Boy Color. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I don't judge the game based on how it played on Game Boy Color. This is Game Boy Roulette, after all, not Game Boy Color Roulette. But it's nice to check this out. And it looks great. Plays the exact same, too, which is good. It's a big plus that both this and the Game Boy version played identically, because sometimes the Game Boy Color version plays a million times better. Overall, R-Type DX specifically, awesome. Made the transition to Game Boy extremely well. I can't decide what's more satisfying, a well-done arcade port or just R-Type in general. What makes a good shoot-'em-up? Let's break it down. Good graphics, good gameplay, and variety. And R-Type has every single one of those in spades. The graphics are nice and detailed, so enemies retain their slightly unsettling look, and that boss looked fantastic. The gameplay made the jump to Game Boy without any issues, keeping the high-octane action and skyrocketing difficulty without sacrificing anything. And with tons of enemies, variations on your power-ups, and a nice assortment of levels, you're gonna have a solid amount of variety for a shoot-'em-up. But let's look further. What makes a good Game Boy game? That would be a game that's fun, runs well, and ideally can be played in short bursts to accommodate being on a handheld. And once again, R-Type DX knocked it all out of the park. Most of those are because of the nature of shoot-'em-ups, but I was genuinely surprised at how well the game ran. With so much happening, I was really expecting a lot of slowdown, but even with 2 games packed into the cartridge, it ran more than well enough to remain just as fun. So with everything it takes to make a good shoot-'em-up and a good Game Boy game, this one obviously gets a recommendation. It's a great way to get your shoot-'em-up fix in a much smaller, but just as fun package. Of course, one question not answered, does DX in this case stand for Director's Cut or Deluxe? Could go either way, really. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to subscribe so you can follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.